Hi everybody, my name's Lorrie Denning and I'm a yoga instructor and a yoga therapist. And today's class is going to be a Yoga for Wellness class. We're going to start out class by doing some opening of our chest. We want to emphasize opening the chest in this day and age that we live in because in our normal life we usually do everything with the palms down and the shoulders rotated inward. So what we want to do today is lay on our back and open our chest up so that we reverse all that forward slumping. The pectorals get really short and tight by this slump posture, and then the mid-back muscles right around your shoulder blades become extremely weak and they can't hold your body erect. So we're going to start today by opening our chest. So I'd like you to have a blanket with you. This is just a yoga blanket that I've got folded. You can use any kind of a blanket. You can use 2 bath towels that you would put lengthwise and then roll them up tightly. So I'm going to start making my little yoga bolster by creating a nice tube with this yoga blanket. Then I'm going to set it down. Then you want to have this supporting the spine. I've got a yoga block here because most likely I'm going to have a support under my head. And I've got my strap at my side too. So I want you to come down and just place your tailbone on the little prop that we've made, and then lay back so that the spine, the whole spine is on the bolster or on the yoga mat that you've created, the little roll. Now, if I were to take this block from under my head, look at my neck. We never want this. This is compressing the back of your neck. Nor do we want the head too far forward by putting too much under the head. So you got to find that Goldilocks, just right in the middle where your forehead is level with the chin. And I really highly recommend having your knees bent. If you have your legs straight on this, it would sometimes cause people to have their lower back overarch, and it could compress it and not feel good. So keeping the feet on the floor, knees bent, is a nice safe option. Bring your palms to your side, arms to the side, and I want them really close to your side. The inner part of my wrist is right touching the side of my body. So you're not out far, the arms are pinned to your side. And then close your eyes. And just notice where you're feeling a stretch. You might feel it in the front part of the shoulder right here. And let's stay here for about 4 breaths. So when we breathe in yoga, we breathe in and out through the nose. And I want you to breathe into your belly, into the navel. So as you bring your head back to center, close your eyes. And if you need to, you can put one hand on the belly. And as you inhale, breathe in through the nose. And inhale, feel the belly rise up and fill with air. And then as you exhale, let the belly soften and feel your lower back sinking onto the bolster beneath it, or the rolled blanket. And again, inhale, breathe into the navel, blow the belly up. And then as you exhale, see if you can let the whole back body soften, and just notice where you're feeling the pull in your body. For me, it's on this front part of my left shoulder. The other one too, but not as much as this one. So what yoga does, it shows us where we're tighter from side to side. It brings out our asymmetries, meaning not equal. So I just want you to feel that. If you feel anything, you might not, and if you don't, that's great. But if you do, just take notice. So let's stay here a few more breaths. Your palms are up and your arms are right to the side of your body. And now let's change the breath. We've been breathing into the navel. I want you to bring your breath into your chest, so the ribs, the side ribs, the front and the back ribs are all going to feel like they're expanding, front, back, and top to bottom. So now breathe like that. Inhale into the chest area, front and back and side to side. And then let that area soften. Let that back between the shoulder blades sink down. And breathing into that chest, front and back, up and down, side to side. Feel the stretch. And then as you exhale, soften and let go. And we'll stay here 2 more breaths.
Let that exhale soften you, soften you, soften you. Let go of tension. And one more. Now take your arms and bring them out to, we call this airplane arms. So my palms are right out from my shoulders. And keep your gaze, eyes closed, but nose pointing straight up in the middle. So now as you breathe into your heart like we've been doing, and breathing into the ribs. And then soften down. Notice that it changed the stretch a little bit. So maybe you're not feeling as much now. Maybe you're feeling more wherever you're holding tightness in your shoulders and your chest. So stay and breathe, deep breaths. Let that exhale feel like you're surrendering to whatever beneath you, supporting you, just letting go. And know that the inhale is bringing oxygen and beautiful things into your system. And then the exhale is releasing tension and also getting toxins out. So let's stay here about 3 more breaths. So I like to keep people in this opening posture. We call it the attunement phase of class, for about 5 minutes, sometimes a little longer, depending on what's been going on that day. If it's a real stressful day, stay a little longer. And one more, please. Good. And now bring your hands back to where they were, with the arms right by your side. And let's stay here for 5 more breaths. And just notice if you feel any difference than when you started. So deep breath. And exhale, let everything go. If you could breathe into that tight spot, direct the breath there. Put the mind there and inhale. See if you can direct the breath into the tightest spot that you're feeling. And let that exhale soften it. Let go. Keep breathing like that. Inhale through the nose into the tightest spot of tension. And then let that exhale soften it, soften it, soften it. A couple more. Last one. Good. Now to come off of the prop, I want you to pull your navel in and lift it up, so in and up. So get that core to engage a little bit before we move around. That protects your back. And then carefully roll to one side. And use the top arm right in front of the shoulder. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, push yourself up. Now, let's continue, but we want to take away our prop now. So let's take this little blanket prop out of the way, move the block. And now let's get our strap and let's come back onto our backs. We're going to start to stretch our hamstrings a little and get our ankles a little mobile, because we're going to do a couple standing poses later on. So we're just warming up our body right now. So have your strap handy, please, and lay back. Nothing under the head, unless you're laying on your mat and your chin is poking way up high like this. Then I'd like you to take that blanket you were using and just make enough of a little cushion, pillow, so that it brings the forehead and the chin level. That's what we want to start cultivating, is this nice neutral cervical curve, so that nothing's compressed in the back of the neck. So now to start, feet are bent, knees are bent, feet are on the floor. I want you to straighten up your right leg. Straighten the right leg. And when you do that, notice if you're on the center of the heel. And if you're way over to like the lateral part of the heel, bring your foot so that the toes are pointing straight up and you're right on the middle of the heel. And then I want you to think about the right leg that's straight. push through the big toe mound and draw the outer ankle in. And that's going to activate this leg. And we want to keep this right leg that's on the floor active. You just don't want to let it flop. You want to keep it active. And pressing through the big toe mound and drawing the outer ankle in activates the whole leg. And now let's get our strap. We'll leave our strap to our side and just bring your left thigh in and hold under the thigh. Now notice where your lower back is. Is it all the way on the mat? Give it a little bit of a lift so that you have this little bit. You can put half a hand under your lower back. That's called your neutral pelvis, and we want to start from there. So hold under the left thigh. Don't let that right engagement go of the right leg. And as you inhale, now let's straighten up the left leg, and then exhale, bend. And inhale, straighten, and the exhale bends it. And just keep going. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. And a few more. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. So we want to warm up the muscle dynamically, which is moving, before we hold it with a strap in a static hold. We're just giving the body kind of a heads up of what we're going to do next. So we want to warm this up. So if you have that rounded upper back, that forward shoulder position, chances are that your hamstrings are super tight as well. So when we come to stretch them, which we're going to do now, I want you to get your strap, place it on the arch or the ball of the left foot, and then straighten your leg up. Now, I don't want you to bend, I don't want you to stretch with a bent knee. So wherever it is for you, lower the leg until that leg is straight. That's where you're going to stretch from. And have the backs of the arms on the mat so that you're not pulling on your shoulders. And I don't want any heads up off the mat. So lengthen the shoulder back to the mat. Now, before we give it a long stretch, we're going to warm up our muscle a little bit more. So I want you to gently, first you're looking at that left foot and it's not cocked to the left, it's not cocked inward, the toes are straight up. And if you could draw a line from the middle of your knee to the middle of that foot, between the second and third toe, it would be aligned up. So we want to stretch from alignment. So the right leg is pressing down and the big toe and outer ankle in. Now this leg in the strap, I want you to pull towards your body and press the leg away. And hold that for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now let it go. You can soften the knee. Now we're going to stretch it. So what we did, we tightened up this muscle group first, which warmed it up a little more, and now we're going to stretch it. So now straighten the knee, whether you're up at 90 degrees or your legs are tight and you're down here, it doesn't matter. We honor our bodies and we start, where the body says it's okay. Now we're going to stretch it. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's gently bring this left leg towards our torso as we push away with the right leg. So the right leg, the big toe mound is pressing into just the air, or I've got mine on the fireplace hearth, so if you have a wall or a door, you can put that foot on the wall, and then your outer ankle draws in. So let's breathe. Inhale, and the exhale, I want you to think about pulling your navel in and up a little bit, and inhale, and exhale, maybe drawing the leg back a little bit. Listen to the body. Think about straightening the knee, so you can put your hand on the back of the knee and press into that to straighten that leg. Now we don't want to feel the stretch behind the knee or in the sit bones, the ischial tuberosity. We want to feel this in the back of the leg, the hamstring area. Let's stay here 2 more breaths. So keep breathing. Even while I'm talking, listen, but don't let the breath go. The exhale, gently draw your navel in and up. And then the inhale, let that go a little bit. Good. Now we're going to take this strap and place it in the left hand. We're going to take our right arm out to the side, and then we're going to open up this left leg outward. Now what you don't want to do is let your right hip pop up. So remember, the right leg is active. Big toe mound, outer ankle draws in. Keep the right hip down. And now we're just going to breathe. This is your adductor group. We're going to do standing posture later, that we need to open this up first. So as you're here, you're inhaling and then exhaling, trying to let that muscle soften. No grimacing allowed. So if your face is like, ugh, this is too much, you need to come out of it a little bit. Yoga asks us to be calm and easeful in a posture and be stable all at the same time. So you never want to push yourself into where you're wincing or your body's asking you to come out of it. So be nice and kind to yourself. That's the word. Let's stay here a couple more breaths. So I'm holding these postures at least a minute, and I'm trying to go into 90 seconds. That allows the fascia to let go, not just the muscle to stretch, but the fascia is of biological webbing that encases all your muscles. And it takes longer to stretch than the muscle group itself. So we're just going to let it stay here a little bit longer to let the fascia let go. Couple more breaths. We're going to stay here about 15 more seconds. Deep breaths. The exhale, soften. Deep breaths. And the exhale, soften. 2 more. And soften. And last one. Now you're going to use your arms. Soften this knee, this left knee, just a little, and then use your arms to help this leg come back up. Now we're going to switch sides. So bring your right leg up and exchange it with the left. Straighten the left leg, and notice I've got my left foot pressing onto my fireplace. So first of all, I want to look at my left leg. The toes are pointing straight up, and I'm pressing through the big toe mound of the left foot and drawing the left ankle in. And notice how that leg is now, it's grounded. Now the right leg, let's inhale, and then exhale, just bend the knee, and inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. Notice when you do this that your foot is right centered with the center of your knee, that it's not cocking out to the right or coming cross midline to the left. We want to do this in alignment. So we're just warming up the back of our legs. Super important. If you sit a lot, this gets super tight. This is also a responsible muscle group. The hamstring, the back of the thigh, is very active in back pain. So if you have that slump rounding posture and you have tight legs, chances are you probably have neck pain or maybe low back pain. So we're just trying to lengthen these muscles out to bring more balance to the body. So now bring the leg up. Remember, we don't want to stretch with a bent knee. So wherever it is for you, this leg here, I just had hip replacement a year ago, so I'm still working on my flexibility with this leg. So I'm not as straight up as the other side. And that's okay. So bring the upper arms to the mat. So we're going to do that. It's called PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, before we stretch it, which means we're going to tighten the muscle group up, and then we're going to relax it, and then we're going to stretch. So back to the arms on the mat. Left foot is active, big toe mound, outer ankle drawing in, keeping this leg nice and grounded. Now take an inhale and an exhale, and then gently pull the right leg towards your body as you push the foot against the strap away. And hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then soften the knee, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, straighten that knee and draw the leg towards your torso. And now you're going to find where that sweet spot is for you. Look at the foot, the right foot that's up, center of the foot. So you've got your big toe, then the first toe, then the second toe, then the third toe. So between the second and third toe is where you want to feel that it's aligned with the center of the knee. So deep breaths, keep your navel drawn in and up a little bit. And exhale, try to soften. Inhale. And exhale, soften. I'm watching the time, so we're going to stay here about another minute. We want to stay in this a little bit longer than we normally do to let the fascia let go. So your fascia encases every muscle, bone, cell of your body, and it has a tougher component to it than muscle. So it takes longer to stretch. So that's why we're doing this. Little bit longer holds, which will let that fascia go. So keep the breath slow and smooth and long. And let the exhale try to soften that muscle, relax into it, don't tense up. And also when we first start a stretch, your muscle is kind of like, oh, what's going on? And it tightens. So as we stay in it and sustain this mild to moderate stretch, the muscle goes, oh, okay, I'm okay. And then it lets go and lets the fascia stretch. So we're just allowing the body to open very carefully, very mindfully, and very slowly. 2 more breaths. Remember that left leg is active. And now let's go to the outer, stretching the inner thigh. Strap is in the right hand, the left hand is to your side, palm down. And then inhale, let's keep that left leg grounded as we open up this right leg to the right. So remember, this is not lifting. We don't want to twist our back. We're keeping this leg grounded. Press the thigh down and the big toe and outer ankle in. And we'll stay here about a minute longer. We've been in it about 20 seconds. So keep your navel in and up a little to protect the back. And you can even put the left hand on the frontal left hip bone and coax it to stay down. We're not trying to twist our lumbar spine right now. We're trying to open up our right adductor, the inner thigh, the groin. And breathe. Deep, slow breaths. The exhale, soften. And inhale. And soften. Couple more breaths here. We're almost done. And last one. Now keep your navel drawn in quite a bit and use your arm to bring this leg back up. Bend your knee and take your strap off. Good job, guys. All right. Alrighty, let's do a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to take whatever I have under my head off, unless, like I say, you've got your chin way up high, then keep it behind your head. So I'm going to turn, I believe I'm going to turn this away so you guys can see me. I'm going to have my arms out wide. I'm going to draw my knees into my chest. I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to let both knees go to the right, keeping the left shoulder down. Only go as far as you go to keep your left shoulder down. And then inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, go to the other way. Keep right shoulder down. And then come back up. Now, let's try something else. Grab your block. Place it between your calves and the knee. This is going to keep things aligned better. So take an inhale to prepare. Then the exhale, let's take both knees to the right. Look left, but keep the left shoulder down. And then inhale, come back to center. Keep your tummy drawn in and up. And then exhale, go to the left. And look right as you keep the right shoulder down. And then back to center, inhaling. And then left, we're going to the right and we're looking left. The left shoulder stays down. And then inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, knees go left and the gaze looks right. And then inhale back to center. Keep going exhale, we're going to the right. Keep left shoulder down. And then inhale back to center. And then exhale, going to the knees to the left and right shoulder down. And exhale back to center. A few more times. Now when you go to the right, notice if you feel a pull on the left shoulder. It's connected by fascia. And then inhale to center. And then knees going to the left as far as you can, keeping right shoulder down. Feel the pull on the right shoulder. And then exhale back to center. 2 more times on each side. Inhale, going to the right. This is also core work. And exhale, especially the lower abdominals and the obliques. Inhale to the left. And exhale to center. And last time, going to the right. Maybe noticing your knees are closer to the floor now as we stretch. And last time, going to the left. And back up. Now this time, going to the right, let's stay there. And notice my knees are hovering in space. I'm going to put a block under them so that I feel supported. You can use a pillow, you can use whatever you want. But I want you to feel this nice length from the top of the left knee to the left shoulder. And breathe. Notice how my knee is splaying back. It's because I'm tight in this left shoulder. Your knees should be knee to knee, but notice what happens to my left shoulder. It lifts up. So I'm going to honor the left shoulder and keep it down. But think about drawing the top knee forward a little bit. So that's going to pull a stretch. You have a line of fascia that connects your left shoulder all the way to the right hip. So we're giving that side an opening right now. So deep breaths. And soften. And deep breaths. And soften. One more deep breath. And then pull your navel in and up as you bring your legs back up to center. Take your block with you. And then exhale, go to the left. Bring your block, because remember, we're only going as far, keeping the right shoulder down. And then just breathe, deep breaths. If you want to get more stretch on the right side, I want you to look towards your knees, and that gets into the neck and keeps that. So see if you can get your knee to knee aligned without letting the right shoulder pop up. And we'll stay here about 4 more breaths so the right shoulder stays down. You probably feel a pull here if you have those rounded shoulders. So you might feel a nice pull, a stretch. Nothing should hurt. We never push into pain. We're just allowing the body to open slowly. And 2 more breaths. And last one. Now when you come out of this, pull your navel in and up, and then lift your knees back to center and put one foot down at a time. Good job. Let's roll to one side and come up. And just stay here for a minute and see how you feel. See how you feel. Close your eyes. Notice where you feel the energies. I'm feeling mine in my shoulders. I had shoulder surgery in June of 2020, so I'm still feeling tight in there. And breathe, deep breaths. Just notice what you're feeling. Okay, we're going to do a couple more on the floor before we stand. So I want you to bring your block with you and come onto your backs, nothing under your head. And come down on the mat. So first we're going to do some bridging. This is going to work the back body. Remember, the front body gets all stretched out, the back body gets weak. This even means the glute muscles, your tushy muscles. So we're just going to work on that right now. So if you have 2 blocks, you don't need 2 blocks here, but it's helpful if you have them. I'm all about alignment. Healing comes with alignment. So I take a block and put it between my feet. That keeps my knees from either, a lot of people, they're out like this in bridge, or some people have their knees together. Keeping your big toes grounded to a block will keep everything lined up. So let's start. We're going to do bridge, but first we're going to do some shoulder motion. So I've got this block between my toes. And I'm going to bring the other block sideways, holding it right above my shoulders. Now I want you to actually bring your arms down and put your hands on the frontal hip points, your ASIS bones, the frontal hip points. If you go to your belly button and go out about 4 inches, that's where they're located. So I want you to take an inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to think about drawing your ASIS, those hip points, towards your navel, and that's going to contract your transverse abdominis, the deepest layer of your abdominals that protects the spine. So when we do these raising our arms up over our head, I want you to keep that hip points drawing towards one another. Now take the block, gently hold it, draw your ASIS together, have your big toes onto the block. If you're using that block, draw your outer ankles in. And now as you inhale, keeping the ribs down, let's inhale and raise your arms up over your head as far as your body allows, and then exhale, bring them up, right where they were. So the inhale, keep your ASIS drawing together so that the ribs don't flare, and then exhale, bring it up. Let's do a few more. So this is shoulder flexion. And we're just, if your arms are already to the floor, when you bring your arms over the head, if your hands touch the floor, yay, 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 bravo. That's great. That's really good shoulder flexion. But some of us that have either shoulder issues or that rounded upper back, our shoulders are probably tight. So this is good for us just to do this. But we want to keep the ribs from flaring up so that the lower back doesn't get compressed. So inhale, let's bring our arms up over our head, and then the exhale, bring them back up. Couple more. Inhale, over the head. This is also working the top in the middle of your core, the TAs. They're real important muscles. And one more time. Good. And then bring your block to your side, roll to whatever side is most comfortable for you to get up with, and then push yourself up.
Okay, let's come on to hands and knees and just mobilize our spine a little bit. Then we're going to come to standing. So come to all four position, which means that your wrists are right under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. If you can, put the tops of your feet on the floor. If that's not possible, curl the toes under. That's all okay. So the arms are important here. Your index finger are pointing straight ahead. The upper arm bones are rotated back, which means the biceps rotate up. That keeps your shoulders safe. And then think about letting the belly go and just let your belly button sag towards the floor. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in and round the back and push the floor away. That's the motion we're going for. So now the inhale, without moving the hands, gently pull back on the hands, raise the head and raise the tailbone, let the belly sag. And then exhale, pull the belly in, look down, let the tailbone come down and round the back. And inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the tail, looking up, hands are pulling back. And then exhale, push the floor away, round. And two more times, inhale, look forward, tailbone rises, and then exhale, push it away. And last one. So this is a really exaggerated lower back, and this is a really rounded lower back. So now I want you to find the middle ground, right in the middle of the two, and that's your neutral spine. Once you find it, I want you to think about drawing your navel in and up a little bit and drawing those hip points towards one another. So now let's extend our left leg back, and I want you to exhale and look back at that left foot. So breathe in, feel like the head is getting elongated from the spine, and the exhale, just pull that tummy in a little more. So you should feel the stretch on the right side of your body as we look left. Keep pushing the floor away, and we'll just stay here a couple more breaths. We're just starting to warm up our side body. Feel the stretch on the right side. And then drop that left knee. I'm going to flip it. Now we're going to do the same. So now the right leg comes back. You're curling the toe under. Don't let the back arch too much. So find that neutral pelvis. Push the floor away. Draw your ASIS together. And now look back at that right foot. And feel the stretch, push through the heel so you feel it in the calf. We're starting to stretch our calf. Our navel is in and up, our ASIS towards one another to protect our back. And then we're just looking back towards the right foot. Feel the stretch in the left side of the waist and the left side of the ribs. This is called lateral flexion. It's one of the movements of the spine that we need to do every day to keep the spine healthy. And we'll stay here 2 more breaths. And then come down. All right, let's roll our wrists out. I'm going to show you one that I just learned. It's called a wrist floss. So if you do a lot of computer work, very good for you. So what I want you to do is, I'll come closer. I want you to interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows up without lifting the shoulders and interlace your fingers. So press into the interlaced fingers and spread the thumbs wide, and then pull out on your elbows. Keep pulling and breathing. Should feel good. And then see my thumbs, I'm pressing back, giving them a good stretch, but these fingers are pulling into one another and I'm pulling out with my elbows. And then flip your hands this way and bending at the wrist, you're going to bring one down, not the fingers, just the wrist, and then come back and then bend the other wrist and bring it down. Inhale back up, pull, and exhale. Keep the tension as you bring this down, and then inhale. So it's not bending the fingers, it's bending at the wrists. And inhale to center, and exhale, bend the wrist. Inhale to center. Now I'm bending my right. Inhale to center. Now I'm bending my left. So you'll probably look opposite than I. And a couple more times. Keep that tension on the fingers, pulling out with the elbows and squeezing the fingers together. The thumbs are reaching back. Good. Then circle your thumbs, open and close your fingers and shake it out. Okay, let's come back to the mat. Let's bring one leg forward. Put your hands on the thigh, curl the back toe under, and press yourself up to standing. All right, now we're going to work on the standing portion of our class. Excuse me 1 second. I've got to get a sip of water because I'm feeling really, really dry mouth. So hold on 1 second, please. Okie dokie, here we are. So standing on your mat, I think I need to adjust this a little bit. Hold on. There. All right. So we're going to start at Tadasana. I ask you to please bring a block with you. Look at your feet. Toes are equal length. It's as if you're toeing a line. So one foot is not forward from the other. Put a block between your thighs. And what this does, squeezing the block starts to bring the core, the deep core into play. Your inner thighs are connected with your pelvic floor and then up into the core muscles. So just gently squeezing the block. I'm not asking you to put all your effort into it. Just holding it there with a little bit of effort. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down your back. Now lift the toes up. Bring the big toes down and spread the other toes out. Now press through the big toe mound. Draw the outer ankles in. Soften the knees. Gently squeeze the block. Shoulders up, back, and down again. And think about your pelvis as being a building block, like children's blocks. Pelvis is the bottom block. The rib cage is the second block. It's stacked over the pelvis. And then your head is the third block, and it's stacked over the rib cage. So you're in a nice aligned position. Good job, guys. Now from here, I just want you to feel this. Press into the floor and think about the crown of the head lengthening up. So we're creating an axial extension, a stretch of the spine. So palms at your side. You can even open the palms forward. I kind of like that too because it opens the shoulders. So press into the big toe mound, draw the outer ankles in and press into the feet. And as you inhale, keep that press and lengthen the crown of the head up. And then as you exhale, pull your navel in and up, draw your ASIS together just a little bit. So press into the feet and lengthen the crown. And exhale and draw that core in a little bit. 2 more breaths. And then good, take this block out. Okay. Let's widen our stance a little bit. Bring your block with you, or a chair if you need a chair. We're going to come down into a wide angled forward bend. Prasarita Padonasana. So I want you to bring your legs as wide as comfortable for you. This is why we did that strap and opened up our legs in Supta Padangusthasana 3, opening it up. Now we're going to stretch it a little more. So bring your blocks just here. Now if you're really tight in the backs of the legs, a chair might be helpful so that we can put our hands on the chair and keep a nice straight spine. So what happens if your legs are too tight, when you come down, that back is going to round. And we're trying to keep the spine nice and straight. So whether it's on a chair, if you're using a chair though, you're gripping the hands on the outer side to keep the shoulders externally rotated, the biceps rolling up. It's the only thing I'm saying there. So whatever modification or variation works for you, let's come into it. If you're down like me, have your shoulders under your wrists under your shoulders. So now once again, once we're here, I want you to think about pulling your navel in and up. Your gaze is looking down. And think about your tailbone is reaching back as the crown of the head reaches forward. Now your feet are on the floor. They're not out like this. The toes are not out. They're straight ahead. And now press into the feet and feel like you're trying to rip the mat apart. Good. That's going to let the inner thighs let go a little bit more. So push the floor away and breathe. And think about tailbone back and crown of head coming forward. More stretch to the hamstrings. Keep your navel in and up so you have that little bit of curve in the low back. And breathe. This is going to allow us to open up better in the posture that we're moving towards, which is Parsvakonasana, extended right angle. And then heel toe your feet towards one another. And then just roll your spine up and circle your shoulders. Before we go on to our peak pose, which is Parsvakonasana, we're going to do a little bit with our mid-back. I want to strengthen that. So we'll just come into a little bit of a forward fold, just a little bit. So have your feet equal distance. You can even put a block between your thighs just because it's contracting your core and keeping you spaced properly. Find your Tadasana, nice straight spine. Put your hands on your hip crease. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just hinge forward a little bit. You don't have to go all the way. But what I do want is that you have a nice straight spine, which means that the sacrum, the mid-back, and the head would all be in alignment. I'm on a dowel right now. I put a dowel on my back. So I want to keep aligned. Then I draw my navel in and up, my ASIS together to hold that in. So now what we're going to do, you're going to hinge forward, navel in and up, and bring your arms down. And as you take a breath, and as you exhale, bring your arms to cactus, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then reach back. Then inhale back to the cactus, and exhale down. Tummy in and up. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, reach. Inhale back.
and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale here and exhale down. Now if your back is hurting, bend your knees softly. Inhale up, exhale back, tummy in and up, inhale back, and exhale down. So inhale into cactus, squeeze shoulder blades. Exhale, reach for your feet. Inhale back to the cactus and exhale down. One more time. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, reach for those feet. Inhale back and exhale down. And then just fold forward, hold opposite elbows. Maybe straighten the legs, maybe keep them bent, whatever feels better to your body. Listen to the body. Hold the navel in and up, and then just let the arms go. Now we're going to just stay here for a couple breaths. Uttanasana. And now to come up, press into the feet a lot. So think about your lower body. The feet are going to push you up. You're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw your navel in and start to lift your navel up as you press into the feet and roll your spine all the way up. When you come to the top, circle those shoulders back. Good job. Let's move into our peak pose today, which is Parsvakonasana. It's a nice stretch for the whole side of your body, the lateral side, the whole side of the body. So let's spread our feet wide. Notice your toes are pointing forward. So spread your feet. That's why we've opened up our inner thigh to get to this pose. Now, I want you to think about a nice long spine. Take your left foot, rotate on the heel so that the toe is pointing straight ahead. The back foot, you're just kicking back the heel a little bit. The front leg, I want you to bend the knee to 90 degrees. You're going to take your left arm, palm up, and you're going to place that forearm right on that thigh. Now the tendency is for this shoulder to rock forward. I want you to bring your shoulder back. Draw your navel in and up. Press through the pinky edge of the right foot and really make sure that the knee is centered over that left foot. Outer ankle in, big toe mound pressing. On the front foot, the back foot, big toe down, and you're pressing on the pinky side. Navel in and up. Now bring your right hand to your shoulder. Rotate your rib cage up. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, let's extend this right arm forward over your head. Deep breaths. So think about your right foot, the pinky side, is grounding down, and you're reaching with the right pinky finger. Deep breath. Now you can look up at the pinky for the hardest version. You can look straight ahead, or you can look down. So whatever feels best to your body. We're going to stay here for about 4 more breaths. Inhale, reach. Exhale, really engage that stomach muscle in and up. 3 more breaths. Creating good strength in the legs, stretching the back leg, strengthening the front thigh, the quadriceps, and the hamstrings. 2 more breaths. It's a power pose. And 1 more. And then to come out of it, take this top arm, rebend the elbow, place the hand on the hip, and then push yourself out of it, and then square your feet off. Did you get warm? I got really warm, but that's good. Let's do the other side. So just telling you, the other side might look a little different for me. I don't know how it's going to feel today because my shoulder, I'm nursing it from a surgery, so we'll see. Never push into pain. Listen to the body. So now take the right foot, pivot it on the heel so that the toe is pointing straight ahead. The back foot, you're just stepping the heel back a little bit. So now we're going to bend into the front knee. You're going to look at that right knee. Is it centered between the second and third toe? Big toe mound down, outer ankle in. That will adjust that angle. The back foot, pinky side down, big toe down. Bending this knee. Taking the right hand, bringing the forearm to the thigh. Rolling the left shoulder up, back towards the wall. Left hand to the shoulder.
Take an inhale. And as you exhale, straighten up this left arm. Press through the left pinky toe and reach through the left pinky on the hand. So pressing down with that left outer foot and reaching. Feel the stretch all in the side body. Think about that left shoulder is on the wall behind you, so you're spiraling the rib cage up. Keep the legs nice and active. Feel the stretch, the whole left side of your body. Reach. We'll stay here 3 more breaths. So good for us. Stretching the lateral side of our body. And 1 more. Now to come out of it, rebend this left elbow, bring the hand to the shoulder, drop the elbow, bring the hand to the hip, and then lift yourself up, straighten the leg, pivot, and walk yourself together. Woo, that was a heat warmer, wasn't it? Warmed us up. I'm going to show you 1 more, which is super, super good from creating strength in our side hip muscles. Very important as we get older to keep our hips nice and strong for any age, but especially as you get older. So you can use a regular yoga block. I happen to have a wood block, which is a little more stable. You can use a book, something stable. You can even use, like I have my fireplace hearth, I can use this. These are called hip hikes. So you're going to take a block. I'm going to bring my chair closer so I'm closer to the camera. But you need to hold on to something to do this. So I've got a block down here. You can use a regular yoga block, but this one's a little more stable. I'm going to put my left foot on this block. And I'm looking at making sure that the heel and the big toe is down. If you've got really long feet, you might need a second block, right? So then we're going to stand up on this block. I've got my right toe on the ground. So what this is you're going to lift the right foot off the floor and then see if you can let the foot come to the floor. And then you're going to push into the left foot that's on the block to lift this leg up. So you push, push, push on this leg to lift this leg up. And then you inhale and let the foot come to the floor. And then the exhale, push on the heel of the left foot that's on the block, lift and lower. Inhale, lift and lower. Let's change the breath. I didn't like that. Take an inhale to prepare. Then the exhale, press into the left foot. Feel the right leg start to lift and really lift it up. And inhale, lower. Exhale, push and lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, push and lower. And exhale, push, lift the right leg and lower. So we're shortening this side. This is for your quadratus lumborum as well as your glute med. So the gluteus on the side, the glute medius, is really strengthening with this the left leg on the block as we lift the right leg using that muscle group. And one more time. Good. And then come off the block. I'm going to do the other side. So just be sure that you're safe when you're doing this, that you're holding on to something. And if it doesn't feel right to you, then leave it out. Don't do it. So now I've got my right foot on the block. My toes are pointing straight ahead. I've got my left hand on the chair or a wall or something to support balance. So my left toe is on the mat. I'm going to push with my right heel and feel like I'm lifting up the left leg. Scrunch it here and then lower. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press into the right foot, lifting up the left hip. And inhale, lower. Exhale, push, lift, and lower. So push into the foot on the block, the heel especially, to lift this left hip up and lower. 3 more. Push and lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, push and lift. And inhale, lower. 2 more. push and lift, and lower, and push and lift, and lower. Good job. So if you're looking to build strength in the side glutes, if balance is an issue, if when you try to stand in tree that you're dancing all over the place and you can't hold balance, this is one I highly recommend. I would start out with doing 8 on each side and work your way up to 16 or so on each side. So let's come down to the mat, cool it off, do a couple hip stretches to work out what we just strengthened, to ease that up, and then we'll be done. So come onto your mat, lie on your back, and let's grab our strap again. Now we're going to stretch the outer hip that we were just working with, this hip lift. And also when we were in our power pose today, our Parsvakonasana, this one, we were working our hip muscles as well. So now we're going to stretch them out. Lay on your back, please. Let me re-angle my camera. I think I had it up a little too high. Let me lower it down a little bit. I think that's a little better. So everyone on their backs. Okie dokie. We'll do a couple to open up our hips. So before we do this, let's do a little bit of bridging. So lay on your backs. You can have a block with you. And put the block between the thighs. Bring your upper arms to your sides so that they're touching your body and the palms are pointing up. Fingers are up, palms are pointing in. So what I want you to do now is find the big toe mound on the mat and draw the outer ankle in. Notice how that just contracted your glute muscles. And now we're just going to lift up and down into bridge. We're going to work our glute maximus, our big butt muscle in the back. So take an inhale and an exhale. One more inhale. Now, as you exhale this time, press into the backs of the arms and the feet, and think about lifting your tailbone up. So lift up, 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 each vertebra, each vertebra, each vertebra. Notice the head wants to slide back. That's great. Squeeze your tushy a little bit. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, one vertebra at a time, you're rolling down on that spine. Nice and slow. Massage your spine. And again, inhale. So the exhale, it's like you're pulling your navel in, your back flattens, and then you're lifting with the tailbone all the way up. Press into the backs of the arms, feel the knees draw forward, and then the exhale, come all the way down. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, start to lift with the tailbone all the way up, press into the arms, maybe even tuck the chin a little to really lengthen the neck. And then exhale, roll it down. Kind of like a cat and the cow, but this one here we're strengthening the glutes. And last time, inhale to prepare. The exhale, pull your navel in and then lift up with that tailbone and come all the way up. Now once you're here, press into the feet, big toe mound, outer ankles draw in, squeeze your block. Draw your navel in and up and point your tailbone towards your feet. Gives a nice length to the back. And breathe. We're going to stay here about 4 more breaths. So we're creating strength in the glute muscles and the hamstrings, the whole back body. Press into the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades gently together. And now we're strengthening the whole back body. This is reversing all of the forward work we do, the folding forward, the palms on the computer all day. This is reversing that. So this is so needed in our society. Now 1 more breath. And then as you exhale, roll it down slow, 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 and slower. Good. Take your block out. Now we're going to do 1 more with bridge. So now your arms are here. I want you to bring your arms flat, but I want you to think about pressing your palms are face up. Press the thumbs into the mat and then let it go. Then press the thumbs. Notice what's going on in the back of the shoulder and then let it go.
So when we press our thumbs into the mat with palms face up and the arms are to your side, you're activating the external rotators of your shoulder, which we need because everything has gone forward. So we're strengthening that. Palms up. Now, take an inhale, press the thumbs into the mat, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, let's lift up into bridge, squeeze your tushy, and then lift your right leg up, and then put your right leg down. Lift your left leg up, and bring your left leg down. So don't let the tushy sag. So lift and lower. Left side, lift and lower. And lift, right and lower. Press into the right foot as you lift left and lower. Press into the left foot as you lift right and lower. A couple more. Lift and lower. And last time, lift and lower. Good. Inhale, come up a little higher. Bring your arms up straight. Reach for the ceiling. And then as you exhale, roll down on that spine. Feel that good, nice massage that gives you. Really nice. Good job, guys. Straighten your legs. Bring your arms to your side. Let your feet flop. Let the arms flop. And just notice what you're feeling right now. Where do you feel the energies moving in your body? What do you feel? Start with the bottom of your feet. What do you feel? That action of pressing the big toe mound down and drawing the outer ankle in is strengthening your arches. Super important. Feel the feet. Feel the lower legs. Feel the thighs. Feel the hips and the buttocks. Feel the arms. Feel the torso, the chest, the back, tummy, and then your head. I feel energies flowing throughout my whole body. We moved a lot of things throughout that practice. All good. So now let's do one final stretch and we'll be done. Get your strap. Let's start with our left leg. So I've got my right leg straight. I'm pushing it into something. Now there's another way. I should have given you this option at the beginning and I just didn't think about it, but that's okay. You could put this block on a sofa or on a wall or something that doesn't move, and you can use that to press into. So I'll do that one. We're going to start with our left leg. So I've got my right foot pressing into this block. The same action. Big toe mound pressing, outer ankle drawing in. Then I'm going to put this around my left arch. Now it's real important that we don't let this left hip roll off the floor very much. We're not trying to go into a twist here, which lifts the lower back. We're trying to stretch the outer hip. So get that right leg grounded, big toe, outer ankle in. Take the strap in the left hand, your right hand down to brace. Excuse me, the strap is in the right hand, the left hand down to brace. Take an inhale. And then as you keep the left hip down, I want you to bring that left leg across your body. So notice, this is about as far as I can go. But if I let my lower back twist, then I'm down to the floor. This is not a lower back twist, it's an outer hip stretch. So push into that right foot and let you feel this stretch coming to the outer left hip. Keep the left hip, it's going to lift up a little, but not too much. And breathe, 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 breathe. We're going to stay here another minute. Deep breaths. And then letting go. Deep breaths. Don't let that right leg lose its grounding. It's going to want to flop, but you're not letting it flop. Nice deep breathing. Remember, we're working with connective tissue here. We're stretching muscle, but we've got to let the connective tissue let go as well, which takes longer to stretch than muscle. So I'm letting you hold these postures at least 90 seconds. Kind of like a little yin type class. Yin yoga holds things longer to get that fascia to release. So we're almost done, so hang with me. Nice, slow, deep breath. Not moving into pain. You want to feel a stretch, but never pain. And now inhale, let's lift it with the arm all the way up. Let's reverse. I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to do it without pressing into a block. You can still do it without pressing into something, but you want to get that same action. So now I've got my right leg up. My left leg is straight. I don't have anything to press into, but I am pressing into the big toe mound and drawing the left outer ankle in, and that's going to keep this left leg grounded. Now take the strap in the left arm, the right arm palm down to brace. Take an inhale. And without letting the right hip come up very much, let's bring this leg across the body. And breathe. So this is the level I can do right now from my hip replacement. So wherever you are, don't get discouraged. Fascia takes a long time to stretch, longer than muscle. So I'm looking at the clock. We're going to stay here another minute. Deep breaths. Remember, the right hip stays down. It's not a lower back twist. It's an outer hip stretch. So this is getting into your external rotators, your abductors, your glute medius, your glutes, your external rotators, piriformis being one of them, one that gives us grief, sometimes with sciatic pain. So it's just good to keep these all lengthened out. We've got about 20 more seconds. Hang with me if you can. Notice where you're feeling it. Deep breathing. And one more breath. And then inhale and bring that leg back up to center. Bend the knee. Take the strap off. And let's bring our knees into our chest. Roll around. Circle them around side to side. Whatever feels good to you. And then the last pose we'll do happy baby, just because it's a nice way to end class. So hands on the knees, draw your knees into your chest. Maybe bring your hands to your calves and then open up. Let me come this way. I think you can see the angle better. And then open up. I've got my elbows inside my knees area and I'm flexing my feet and I'm just opening up my groin and rocking a little side to side. If rocking doesn't feel good to you, then just stay stationary and don't rock. So this is still getting into the abductors. We did a lot of inner groin stretching today, which is good. It's important. It's a forgotten muscle. And then use your hands, bring your legs together. 1 foot at a time comes to the floor. And then we'll go into rest pose for a couple minutes. So come onto your backs. I have a bolster here. I'm going to use this. You can use a pillow. We're just going to put it under our knees. And then we're going to take a few breaths. So I've got this bolster under my knees. It's very nice for your lower back. My arms come out. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Palms at your side, palms face up, arms out to a T. I just don't want your palms down, palms face up. And just notice how you're feeling. How do you feel right now compared to when we started? And then bring awareness to your belly. Think about you've got an inner tube all around your belly. And there's about an inch gap between your body and that inner tube. And when we inhale, I want you to breathe in the front and the back and the side so that you fill in that gap. So inhaling into the torso all the way around. And then as you exhale, let your body sink and get heavy. And breathing in And letting go as you exhale. The exhale is the part of the breath when the muscles soften and relax. So make your exhale long. Good. Keep breathing. Let the leg muscles go. Keep breathing like that, but now bring awareness to the top of your head. Feel where the back of the head is supported by the floor. Let the jaw soften. Let the mouth soften. Let the eyes sink into their sockets. Bring awareness to your shoulders. Bring awareness now just to the right shoulder and let it get heavy. Let it feel like it's sinking deeper onto the floor. Now bring awareness to the left shoulder. Take an inhale. And on each exhale, let the left shoulder feel like it's sinking a little more. So take another breath. And then as you exhale, let that left shoulder sink a little more. And now bring your awareness to both of your shoulders. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, let both of the shoulders sink down a little more. And now bring your awareness to your belly. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, let the belly soften, soften, and soften. And breathing in. And softening. One more. This time as you breathe in, I want you to breathe into your lower back. So instead of the belly rising, you're going to breathe into the lower back and feel the breath so that the lower back kind of presses into the floor. So inhale, lower back. And then soften. Inhale, lower back. And then soften. Let's stay here 3 more breaths into the lower back. Stretch the muscles from the inside out. And soften. 2 more times. Good. And now starting to deepen your breath a little bit. Start to bring movement into your fingers, into your feet. Circle your ankles. Maybe circle the wrists. Point and flex both wrists and ankles. Maybe raise the arms and circle the wrists a little more, both ways. Open and close your toes and your fingers. Shake everything out, hands and feet. And then hold your navel in and up and roll to one side. Stay there for a couple breaths. Use your top arm by the shoulder. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Press yourself up. And then come to seated. And give me a cross-legged posture. So when you sit in cross-legged, if your knees are clear up here, these inner thighs are what we needed to address, and we did a lot of that today. So hopefully you can feel like you have a little bit of a more open hip from all that. So I thank you so much for joining me. Once again, my name is Lorrie Denning, and I appreciate you watching. So subscribe to my channel, and I post every couple weeks. I post a class sooner if I can. So thank you for joining me, and namaste. Have a good day. Bye.